everybody. We are live once again for our daily devotionals in Luke. It's me. I am your Monday morning delight every week. I hope you're not sick of seeing my face because I was live yesterday for church. But here we are again live for another Luke devotional. Just waiting to see if anyone's going to log in. You're always a bit slower on Mondays. Got a Monday morning feeling about logging in and reading the Bible with me. Or maybe it's a personal thing for me. Maybe you don't like it when I read the Bible. I hope that's not true. Or I have a viewer. That's nice. It's my husband. Hello, husband. You're first. Well done. You win. I could just talk to you, but then I could talk to you anyway elsewhere. Now there's more. Wonderful. Okay. Today we are reading from Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. One of the things I'm noticing with Luke that I maybe haven't noticed before is that Luke has really, really long chapters. I mean, 42 verses, that's pretty phenomenal. And in chapter 9, there were 62 verses. I mean, come on, Luke, that's an awful lot to be saying. Anyway, verse 38 to 42 from Luke chapter 10 today. As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." So that's a really famous story. I'm sure most of you have heard it before. And I often feel like Martha gets a bit of a raw deal in this story because what she's doing isn't bad. The preparations and the hospitality, it wasn't bad, but we always kind of go, "Oh, Martha, you made the bad decision." So before I talk about Mary's better decision, I want to talk about Martha and what we can learn about her. Because I do think she gets a raw deal and I don't think it's fair on her. So firstly, hospitality never goes out of fashion. If you notice, Jesus didn't come to Martha and say, "Please, can I come to your house?" That's not what the passage says. It just says that Martha opens her home to him. So she probably saw Jesus walking down the street and she was like, "Oh, Jesus, come to my house." And she didn't worry whether there was dog fur on the cushions or whether she'd washed up from dinner before. She just knew that Jesus needed somewhere to go and she invited him in. And we need to do that too. We need to invite the crazy cat lady from over the road in. We need to invite our neighbours over who always play the loud music. We need to invite that person from Bible study who doesn't really fit in. We need to invite them over. We need to be hospitable. And that's hard for me to say. Hospitality is not up there with my gifts. I really struggle. If you come to my house, I'll probably forget to get you a drink. I probably won't offer you any food. I might not even tell you where the toilet is. But I'll try. If you'd like to come to my house, maybe not during lockdown because that's not allowed, but I will try to be more hospitable because it's really not my gifting, but it's important because people need people. People need to know that they're welcome. People need to be included. The next thing we can hear from Martha, and also something that my brother's girlfriend always says, is that comparisons are odious, which basically means it's not worth it because it always causes tension. So, Martha's working hard, she's doing what she thinks is best, and then she looks over and she's like, "Oh, what Mary's doing, that looks more fun. I feel like I've got the short straw. That's not fair." She starts moaning and she starts muttering. And that happens when we compare our lives to someone else's. When we look at what we've got, and then we look at what she's got over there, and we think, "Oh, that's not fair. Like, why don't I have that? Why doesn't that work for me?" And we shouldn't do that, okay? Comparisons are odious. That's what Becky, my brother's girlfriend, would say. It's what lots of authors have said over time. Comparisons are odious. They're pointless, and in fact, usually they're harmful. Because God has given you your life, and he's given you your life for a reason and for a purpose, and you need to find the purpose for you and your life, and not for the lady over the road or whoever it is that you compare yourself to. And the last thing we can learn from Martha is where to go when we've got a problem. So Martha, she realises that she's upset. She realises that she's comparing herself. She thinks that she's got the short straw. She doesn't put it on Facebook. She doesn't text her friend. She doesn't go out on the street and shout about it. She goes to Jesus. And that's what we need to do as well. So when we find ourselves in a situation where we're feeling bad, where maybe we've compared ourselves, or maybe, I don't know, something really bad has happened, the first place we need to go is Jesus. And that brings us to Mary. Because what's Mary doing? She's with Jesus. She doesn't worry at all about the preparations, the hospitality stuff. She's just with Jesus. And I think this fits really well with what John said yesterday, because John was talking about how, there's some important stuff that we need to figure out. There's some things we need to think about for church and for our lives going forward with what's going to happen after lockdown. There's practical stuff that we do need to think about. But what's most important is that we think about Jesus and we come to Jesus and we rest in Jesus's power. Because it doesn't really matter if we open church to 50 or 100 and if we set the chairs out the same or if we do whatever we want to do. What really matters is Jesus. And it's by his grace and by his power that we can come to God, and we can come confidently. We don't have to be afraid because Jesus made that for us. He made that way. So yeah, go to Jesus. Be hospitable. Comparisons are odious. Have a great day. See you again soon, okay? Bye.